My name is Karen Sudmeier. I'm a senior researcher at the University of Lausanne and a consultant with the United Nations Environment Program in Geneva. What we all know is that disasters are increasing worldwide and that population growth and climate change will likely exacerbate the situation in many regions of the world. In parallel, we are observing that more people are living in places that are naturally subject to hazards, along coastlines and rivers, on islands, and in mountainous regions, because these are favored places for supporting human livelihoods. Governments and non-governmental actors are faced with competing decisions about which investments they should make in order to reduce multiple disaster risks. For this, they need support in selecting the best alternative for their investment, which could be in engineered structures such as dikes and protective walls, preparedness measures such as early warning systems and evacuation routes, or ecosystem-based measures such as conserving or restoring coral reefs, mangroves and sand dunes along coastal areas, vegetation on steep slopes, or wetlands and floodplains. Ecosystems can often protect populations from hazards as cost-effectively as engineered structures, especially when combined with preparedness measures. So what do we mean by ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction, or ECO-DRR? The idea is relatively simple. ECO-DRR aims at combining the sustainable management of ecosystems with disaster risk reduction methods. This includes ecosystem conservation, management, and restoration, but also integrated planning tools, early warning systems, or combining with engineered structures. Ecosystem-based adaptation, or EBA, refers to the use of biodiversity and ecosystem services as part of an overall strategy to help people and communities adapt to the negative effects of climate change at local, national, regional, and global levels. A good example of how ecosystems can reduce the impact of disasters are protection forests in Switzerland that prevent landslides and rockfall along steep mountainous roads. Every year, the Swiss government invests significantly in managing its forests for their ability to protect, but also for the many other benefits they provide, such as recreation and tourism, wildlife habitat, fieldwood, and aesthetics. We therefore often speak of ECO-DRR or EBA in terms of no-regret strategies, and the multiple benefits that investing in ecosystems brings as compared with engineered structures, when this is a viable option. ECO-DRR and EBA are thus also about integrating traditional natural resources management approaches such as integrated water resources management with risk management and climate change adaptation, and therefore getting three previously separate communities of disaster management, climate change adaptation, and natural resource management to collaborate. Here, environmental education can play a very strong role in reaching out to new communities of practice and emphasizing a more systems approach to this wicked problem of how to reduce disaster and climate risks. Let us look at another concrete example of how ECO-DRR works in practice from Nepal. One of the best examples of ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction are community forests. Community forests here in Nepal have been expanding in the last 30 years, where communities are actually in charge of managing the forest in a more sustainable manner. We've been able to show that community forests have also reduced disasters, shallow landslides, erosion. However, one of the main problems facing Nepal now are that many communities want to build rural roads. Every house, every village wants a rural road going to their village, which is normal. It's part of the quest for development. However, a lot of these roads are built by communities themselves, who might put together some of their own money and build a road, get a bulldozer, build a road. Unfortunately, many of these rural roads are causing environmental problems due to the lack of drainage and due to proper stabilization methods. Many of these rural roads are unfortunately causing shallow landslides and a lot of erosion, with loss of terraces and even human lives. In this case, we can actually use vegetative solutions, or ECO-DRR, to stabilize some of these roadsides to reduce the impact from these roads. We summarize this lecture with three take-home messages. The first is that ECO-DRR and EBA are no-regret strategies. Even if there is no immediate disaster event or climate-related risk, Investing in ecosystems brings other benefits. Secondly, EcoDR and EBA provide multiple benefits, such as sustaining livelihoods, reducing poverty, supporting culture and identity, protecting water and soil resources, stabilizing the regional climate, conserving biodiversity, and contributing to carbon storage and sequestration. Third, it opens new entry points and audiences for environmental education as it bridges natural resources management with disaster risk management and climate change adaptation.